Where's the oh, up there? Oh, that's the partridge in the pear tree. You've decided, have you? Oh, well, fair enough. No problem. I can assure you that no partridges were injured during the singing of that carol. It's wonderful chaos, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant Christmas chaos. And 12 days is particularly one of them. Now, if you get bored in the next 5 or 6 minutes while I speak a few words up here, then you might just want to look at the list next to the words you've just been singing, which remind us that actually it's a very subversive carol, that one. It comes from a time when Christmas was banned by Puritans who didn't like all that celebrating very much. And this was a way of keeping Christmas alive through imagery, the imagery of all these different birds and other things, each of which had their own message to those that knew. It was a secret code. And to us, it's a bit of fun, but it still holds a bitter sweetness about it. So as I say, if you get bored, yeah, there's something for you to do. But let me just ponder for a minute. We've had some lovely festive chaos, haven't we? With Wild Shepherds to Ilkley Moor and the 12 days. And it's all rather perfect for me because Christmas itself is a bit chaotic. We spend weeks preparing for it, don't we? Sorry, this is coming through rather loud. There we go. We spend weeks preparing for it. Sorry, there's a little bit of trouble going on in the background. There we are, got it. We spend weeks preparing for it, and we rehearse it, at least our choirs do. And haven't they done fantastic? Both sets of choirs, but I'm so impressed with Faith in Harmony. They just get stronger and stronger every time I hear them. Well done. And then we wrap our Christmas, and we plan our Christmas, and we over-cater for our Christmas, and then when it actually arrives, but it doesn't always behave as wonderfully as we had hoped, does it? Children have a tendency to get a little overexcited. Have you noticed? And adults have a tendency to get a little overtired. Families are wonderful and difficult in roughly equal measures. Christmas, when it finally turns up, is not, more often than not, the neat thing that we imagine it's going to be. It's noisy, it's crowded, it's gloriously imperfect, which is, of course, exactly how the first Christmas was. There was no carol service, there was no rehearsal schedule, there was no reserved seating. It was just a young couple, far from home, caught up in a census that they didn't ask for, a birth in a borrowed space, surrounded by straw and animals and probably a lot of smelly brown stuff. And there were visitors who turned up unannounced. First of all, there was the shepherds. Now shepherds, I have to tell you, shepherds were not the sort of people that you normally put on a guest list. Shepherds were the outcasts in their society. You see, the work that they did meant that they couldn't keep ritually clean, which was especially important in their society. And what's worse, they worked on the Sabbath. Oh my goodness. They were outsiders. They were not quite respectable. But they got an invite. And then there's the wise men. How many wise men were there? 3? Yeah, any advance on 3? Yeah, 4? 3? Yeah, you think it's 3? Well done, Florence. Florence knows. We don't actually know. The Bible just says wise men, the bit that Alan read for us just now. Wise men from the east. Yeah, we don't know how many there were. What we do know is they were from the east. They were foreigners. They weren't Jews. They were carriers of strange ideas and mythical notions about astrology and reading the future in the stars, which was something the Jewish faith, into which Jesus emerged, pretty much rejected. And yet somehow they too find a welcome alongside those stinky, smelly shepherds. And into all that chaos, the mud, the animals, the shepherds, the foreigners, what happens? God chooses to arrive. Not in power, notice. Not in a palace. He's not in control. He arrives in utter vulnerability. He arrives utterly dependent on the love and the care of those around him. He arrives in the middle of real, messy human life as it actually is. Which is why Christmas still matters, my friends. Even, perhaps especially, to those who might not describe themselves as religious. Whether you believe that the events of Christmas happened literally, or whether you see them as a powerful myth with a message, the message is what's important. The message at the heart of this season isn't be all impressive, have everything together, be someone who knows exactly what they're doing every minute of the day, be super well educated, be clever, be rich. It isn't have everything sorted. It isn't get everything right. No, the message is this: you matter here, now, today. Because Jesus came to show you that God cares about every facet of human life. You matter. That's why the angels don't appear to emperors, but to those outcast, smelly old shepherds and those weird foreigners. That's why the birth happens not in a palace, but in a stable. That's why the story keeps nudging our attention away from status and success and power and towards kindness and service and generosity and care for the vulnerable in all societies. It's why it feels so natural to me that we share this service with Havant Rotary. What's Havant Rotary's, or all Rotary's, motto? Santa, I'm sure you know. Service above self. Say it with me. Service above self. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's not just a neat slogan with very good alliteration, I have to say. It's a Christmas principle. It's written into the story itself. It's the God who appears not to be served, but to serve. It's the story of those quiet, persistent people, like most Rotarians I've ever met, who don't seek the spotlight, but simply notice where help is needed and step forward. So that with every penny raised, every shoebox filled, every food parcel delivered, every local family supported this Christmas, the love of God is shown. Whether or not all Rotarians believe in God, for me, the love of God is poured out through every act of service over self. Rotary and charities like the Rowans, for whom we will take up a collection at the end of this service, because, believe me, they need our support right now. All these charities remind us that Christmas charity is not about obligation. It's not about ticking a seasonal box, I better put a couple of quid in the box for charity and then I'll go and spend hundreds of pounds on my own booze over Christmas. No, it's about recognizing that the world doesn't magically pause its pain just because we've put tinsel on it. Loneliness doesn't take a holiday over Christmas. Illness doesn't reschedule itself. Poverty doesn't suddenly find money for turkeys or presents. Grief doesn't politely wait until January. The Christmas story shows us what it looks like for love to enter in, not just our homes and our hearts, but into the wider world too, into our communities. And let me say this gently, with a couple of professional politicians sitting in front of us, into the world of politics too. Politics, you see, at its best is about the life of the people, isn't it? The polis. Yeah? It's about making life better for everyone. It's the shared work of shaping how we live together. So we might just wonder for a moment, a bit of a thought experiment. What might politics look like if they are also infused with the Christmas message of love and service? Well, let me suggest a few pointers. Love-filled politics doesn't mean everyone suddenly agrees. That would be a Christmas miracle worth seeing, wouldn't it? I think even God might not be able to sort that one out. And it doesn't mean that difficult decisions disappear. It doesn't mean that budgets magically balance themselves overnight. Real love isn't soft-headed or naive, but it does invite us to examine the tone of our debates. It means, for example, refusing to treat opponents as enemies, but rather as people who are just like us, human beings, flesh and blood, who are living by the light that they have received so far on life's journey. It means speaking truth, always truth, without spin. It means remembering that behind every statistic that we grapple with in our politics is a human being with a name and a story and a family and fears very much like our own. It means asking not only is this decision that we're about to take popular or efficient, both of which are important questions in a democracy, but also who might this decision hurt? Or who might it help? It means, at the end of the day, choosing listening over shouting. It means restraint instead of outrage. It means service of others over self-interest. In other words, it looks rather a lot like the values that we celebrate at Christmas. So, and I'll be quiet in a moment. Whether you've come tonight for the carols or the beautiful candles and the trees or the singing of our fabulous choirs, or simply because it's what Havant does on this night of the year, I hope you'll take this with you. Christmas is not about escaping the mess of the world. It's about discovering that love chooses to enter into that mess. And if that's true, then peace on earth doesn't end with angel voices in the sky. Peace on earth continues and must continue with us here in Havant, today and every day. Can I get an amen?